Hi, welcome to This Expat Life. My name is Amanda Maxime, and as a certified coach, I help high-achieving expats find more fulfillment and happiness in their global lives. Because while life abroad is often amazing, it is not only rainbows and butterflies, as all experienced expats know. In This Expat Life, I open up space for all facets of life abroad and what you can do to thrive in it. And to support you in your personal, professional, and geographic life transitions, I share tips, tell relatable stories, and connect with fellow expats. Whether you've just moved abroad or you are a seasoned expat, This Expat Life is your place to find real understanding and to grow from the inside out. Enjoy the show. Hey, welcome back to another episode of This Expat Life, and it's going to be a bit of a personal one, because last week, after I had closed doors to the Co-Pilot, my program for expats stuck at crossroads, and I realized it was July 1st, we had our onboarding call to kick off our 4 months together. I realized, it's a new month, it's a new quarter, and it's also the start of the second half of this year. And you know me, if you've been a listener of the podcast for longer now, you know that I love a good new start to something. I love celebrating the new year. I come up with goals. I am very intentional about how I spend my time. I have a weekly check-in with myself every Monday. I have quarterly check-ins. I love this kind of stuff. And so on July 1st, what I did, I got my journal out. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is my journal for the year. And in it, I wrote down my 3 goals for this year that I defined at the start of 2026. And so what I did on July 1st was to have a good review of the first half and to really audit myself. Am I on track to meet my goals? And it made me think, actually, this might be nice to share with you as well, because at the start of this year, I shared my 3 big goals for 2026. And also in that episode, I shared my decision to move to Mexico City. And I know this personal content resonates with you. I know there are lots of you who also love looking at the future, setting goals, and that you also like my approach in how I do that. Especially the people that I work with. Just today I had a call with someone and I helped her access her future self and really look from there what she can be doing in the here and now. And people love this approach. I have started using this approach years ago, maybe already a decade ago, that you're really tapping into who you want to be rather than setting your goals from willpower and pushing yourself. And it has created the biggest changes for me. I went from a shy diplomat and stressed out to a very visible, confident coach who is living her dream life. So I thought, let me give you a little update on what has been going on for me, how my 3 goals are going, and maybe give you some inspiration on this as well. So to rewind, at the start of this year, I was doing my workation. I spent 3 months in the Americas, in Arizona, El Salvador, and Mexico City. And the first 2 countries were just like 3.5 weeks in total, and then the rest of the workation I spent in Mexico. So I was here when I started the new year. But by that time, usually I take a couple days in December to do my solo retreat, which I also guide other expats in. And I usually do that at the end of the year, just before Christmas or after Christmas. And this is really for me to review the past year and to set my new goals for the new year. But this year, I had it a bit earlier in December, because in the second week of December, I believe, I was in Sedona. And what better place to have your solo retreat than magical Sedona? I've been there now, I think 4 times. I keep coming back to it. It is such a magical place. The moment I get there, I just feel this, I'm home kind of feeling. I feel so grounded there. And so this time I had my solo retreat a little bit earlier, and I also extended it to 5 days instead of the usual 2 days, because I had 5 days for myself in Sedona. And I was in this beautiful location. Every day I was driving there. It was just, it was gorgeous. Now, one of the reasons why I made it a bit longer was while I was doing my solo retreat, I was also recording my steps for the solo retreat to turn that into a do-it-yourself solo retreat package, which I then sold at the end of December. And if you missed that, stay tuned until the end of this episode. And so by the time I got to Mexico City and it was Christmas, like I spent Christmas in El Salvador and then I got here, I was so clear on my 3 goals. I didn't need more solo retreat time. And I really felt, okay, it's the year of the fire horse coming. A change is coming. And not just because of the astrological stuff, it was also because I had made my decision to move out of The Hague. And then in January, I found my answer to actually move to Mexico City. So a lot has happened since, a lot of good stuff, but I'm going to give you an honest behind the scenes because this is me, I'm authentic. Authenticity is one of my core values in my life and also of my business. And I don't want to give you the Instagram perfect picture because some parts have been challenging for me this year. And I just want to give you an honest behind the scenes. So to recap, the 3 big goals I had set for myself for this year. Number 1 was a revenue goal. I'm not sharing what that is, but it was definitely a stretch. Let's put it, I aimed really high. The second one was a bicontinental life. I wasn't sure what continents or what, well, I knew the Americas and Europe, but I didn't know what countries exactly. And the third goal was to be the hottest version of myself that I could be. I will give you some context about each of them. But what is important here to know, I think, is that I don't set my goals in this way of like, I need to reach it. And if I didn't meet my goals, I'm a failure. This is not how I work. I intentionally set goals that really stretch me, that seem far out of my reach, just because that will get me into action. So in the episode that I created earlier this year, I also shared that, for example, last year, I had put on as one of my goals, getting ready for my move to the US. And I knew that would be a stretch. I knew I wouldn't be able to do that in that year. Or maybe I already said, like, I'm moving to the US. I'm not quite sure what I wrote down. But as I was writing it down, I thought, it's 99% sure I'm not going to meet this goal. But why I still put it on there was because if I already tell myself it's not going to be possible this year, let me water it down to something that is more reachable. I'm not going to get into the identity and the action that can create way bigger results. So, I could have done that and I would have had linear growth, but I want exponential growth. And this is why I always put in goals that really stretch me, and I don't care if I don't reach them. I'm not a failure if I don't. So that is the first thing I want to share with you before I really dive into these goals and what has happened for me. And as you're listening to this episode, maybe you realize, hey, I also set some goals for this year. This could be a nice reminder for me to have a little review for myself. Because here's the thing, we are often intentional at the start of the year, but then we forget about it as time passes and daily life takes over and we're back in our usual ways of being and doing and in our patterns. And then we just keep going as we've always been. If you really want to reach your goals, you have to stay intentional. And this is exactly why I have these monthly, quarterly, half-yearly check-ins with myself, reviews, to really see, okay, where did I lose sight of the goal? Where did I lose track? Where am I not on track? So that may be your reminder for you. All right, to get into the update on the goals. Number 1, the revenue goal. Am I on track? No, I'm not. I was very pleased to see that I have grown compared to the first half of last year. Sorry. So at least I'm growing, so I'm very thankful for that. But I am not close to the very big stretch I had wanted for myself. And that is okay. And I can also already see why it happened this way. Because this first half of the year has been so intense. I've been really fueled by my masculine energy, and I have a lot of that. So I push myself into action if need be. I love going for things. I have a lot of exciting energy to say yes to things and to want more, and I have this urge to do it all now. And that gets me far, but it can also be a distraction. And I'm not saying that I was distracted this year, quite far from it. I was really locked in, but there were just, as I was sharing before in a previous episode, I am playing chess on many different boards. This is what the first half of the year has felt like to me. I have my business as a whole. I was growing the co-pilot and welcoming in fantastic clients. I have my one-on-one clients, and that's just a business. I have decided to say yes to a big personal project. I was featured in media. I'm moving countries. There were personal things going on. There was lots of travel. And so all of that combined, it really took a lot for me. And I'm realizing that this might be the first year that I'm going to say, I'm a little bit tired of all the traveling and the moving pieces around the globe. So I've lived a very global life for years, but especially the last couple of years, it's been very dynamic, so to say, moving around quite a lot. But I had my base in The Hague, and that really helped me to have my systems and routines. And I think I did a fantastic job of keeping most of those systems and routines intact, despite 8 hours difference in time, jet lags, 1 week in Mexico City, 1 week in Miami, the Netherlands, moving around, different people, different time zones, different countries, different languages. I think I did a fantastic job. And everything combined, all of those things, those chessboards I'm playing on, plus being in different continents, has also taken a lot for me. So it took a lot of headspace, it took a lot of time, it took my energy, and for sure this has impacted my revenue goal or my way towards it. So I am seeing, okay, if I want to reach that goal or at least get close to it, I need to change a few things in the second half of this year, which is on track. So that's being planned because I'm moving to Mexico in September, and then I'll finally have like a nice stable base. So yeah, that's the revenue goal number 1. Now, what is interesting though, what I write down in my journal is not just the goals. I also really write down like, who am I being and what am I doing from that new identity? This is exactly what I take you through in the co-pilot, in the one-on-one coaching, and also in my do-it-yourself retreat. And I wrote a few things down there, and I was just looking back last week, and I was like, oh yeah, I can see why I didn't meet my revenue goal, because some parts I'm definitely doing, and I really put in a lot of focus for my systems and routines. But there are some energetic shifts and things I shouldn't do and should start doing that I haven't been doing that will help me go for that exponential growth. So I can, with my review, I could already see, okay, this is what I need to change. So I know what to change going forward. All right, that's number 1. Goal number 2, having a bi-continental life and feeling fantastic in it. I think I totally aced this goal this year. When last year I was thinking about leaving The Hague, I had this thing of like, I don't want to be in a lot of transition all the time. I don't want to keep moving around. But at some point I realized, okay, if I want to make this decision, it will probably mean that I'll have a year of transition or half a year of transition for me to finally move out of The Hague. And I accepted it. And I really felt at the start of this year, like, ooh, I'm ready to have a bi-continental life because I'm not quite sure where I want to be. I also still love the Netherlands, but not as my base really. But I was like, okay, this bi-continental life for this year really suits me. And I aced it because I've been spending so much time here in Mexico, also in other countries in the Americas. I have been going back and forth between the 2 continents almost every month, I think. And I will continue doing that for a little bit. And like I said, it has cost me a lot, but I'm also like mentally, I felt really fantastic. Like I just really felt like things are moving and I'm picking a new place, something that feels somewhat familiar because it's Latin America, but I don't know the country very well. It's something new to discover. It's close to the US, which I really like. And I also want to keep my life in Europe intact for this year. And I've been really doing that. So I spent the first 2 months of this year in Mexico, March and a part of April was in the Netherlands. Then I went to to the US for a visit. I came back for a full month, locked in for my business goals, then went to where did I go? To Mexico, the US, Mexico again. Now I'm going, next week I'll be back in the Netherlands, and then August in the US, and then the Netherlands, and then September finally to Mexico City. So that bi-continental life, aced it. Like I said, I was able to keep most of my systems and routines intact. I am living out of 1 suitcase. It's going well. So I'm really happy with this one. And I'm also realizing I'm not going to do this forever. That's very clear. So some parts need to change because, like I said, it was taking space away from my business combined with the other things I'm doing, yeah, that's it. For this year, it's great. And let's see next year. Then goal number 3, I felt a bit like weird to say that out loud, like really, is this my goal? Like it may feel a little bit embarrassing, but then I'm like, yeah, it's my goal. And that is to become the hottest version of myself, like I said. And that is not just in how I look, it's really also in how I feel and the energy that I radiate. And I am giving myself a 7 out of 10 for this goal, because I think what I've done really well this year so far is to prioritize my trainings. I have worked since October with Ladder, the app. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen me speak about it because I love the app. I literally just came back from the gym doing weight training with the app. And I've been really consistent in doing that. And the only weeks that I haven't done it at least 3 times a week was really because I was traveling so much, didn't have access to a gym, and I had my launch going on. So other than that, it's been going really great, and I'm really proud of myself for that consistency, because that's not something that comes naturally to me. However, what I am not doing so well is my diet, because of all the travel. It's not always easy, and moving around and not being at home, it's not always easy to have my meal routines. And I miss running. I really miss running. So I've been focusing so much on weight training, and also because here the running, like it's the altitude, if you're not used to it, running is not a lot of fun, I can tell you that. The pollution in Miami, it was the heat, like there were a lot of reasons why it wasn't super practical to go out for a run 3 times a week, and I still have an injury, but I miss it. I really miss the running. Running is who I am. I've been doing it for my entire adult life. I've run 2 marathons. I want to run one next year again, but I do feel like, okay, it's missing in my weekly routine. So that is coming back. So that's why it's a 7 out of 10. And I want to make a note on that embarrassing part that I just said about my goal. Let this be your, your prompt to voice what you want and what you feel. Because me putting out there in the world, like I want to be the hottest version of myself, because I once looked really good in Brazil, and I can see the years are adding up now. Me voicing that and going after that and showing my commitment and that consistency actually led me to clients. People hired me because they really liked the energy. They didn't hire me to become their fitness coach, but they thought, I want a coach who also inspires me to be the best version of myself, and I want to be fitter. So while we were not working so much on that, they really liked that energy. And so if you feel a bit like, I'm not quite sure what people will think about this when I say this, let this be your cue to voice what is going on inside of you, because it will attract the right people, whether it's relationship, friendships, clients, opportunities, something else. So I was thinking, I have my 3 goals. I am sort of on track with them, but some things need to change and adjust a little bit. But this year has been crazy, and the goals do not reflect that. And so I also want to share a little bit about that. And I think it's really a testament to how I've been showing up to my life. And like I said earlier this year, my goals are not about like, these are my goals and I need to push myself, and it's willpower, and it's like arbitrary goals because I think I should be doing that, or it's based on my linear growth of the past years. No, I'm really showing up from this new identity. And not always, by the way. I definitely lost track a little bit the last 2 months, I would say. But in the beginning, I was really showing up as this Amanda that is from the 3 goals. And so much has happened, and I just want to create a little win moment for myself. This is also really what I do inside the Copilot, where I help people remind themselves of their wins and everything that they have achieved just this week, even if it's small. I want you to get into this winner mindset. And one of there are 3 big things. I'm looking at my notes here. I would say the first one that started, no, it's not the first one, but it's the first one I wrote down. I appeared in media this year, and quite a lot already. So I was on national TV in March for a documentary around something related to my previous job in diplomacy, and I had a tiny part in the documentary, just a couple of minutes. But I used to have a fear of being seen, and while I'm very active on social media, that's my domain. And TV and someone else's documentary is not something that I can fully control. So I had this fear coming up, like, oh fuck, what will people think? And it came out. I saw myself on the big screen during the premiere, and I was like, my heart was racing, but I was like, oh, That's pretty cool. I'm pretty proud of myself. So I see that as a huge win. I was also featured on Business Insider. I wrote an essay there about how home is not one place anymore and how that adds a richness to your life, but it's also a big challenge. So I saw the difference between the beach swimwear between the Netherlands and Brazil, and it changed how I feel about that too. So I added a quote there. And I was also featured on Le Courrier International, which I didn't even know, but they had wrote in a very short piece based on my piece for Business Insider, and someone mentioned it to me and I was like, I had actually no idea because they didn't tell me. So that was pretty cool. And for someone who used to be so afraid of being seen, I call this a pretty big win. The second big thing that is happening right now is that I have decided to write a book. And I am just starting now. I have the structure. I'm writing the first chapter. And damn, it's hard. I used to write a lot for my studies. I did political history, I did law, I did 2 bachelors and also a master in Latin American politics. So there was lots of essay writing. And I liked it. And also in my first job, I was a political risk analyst covering Latin America. So I wrote a lot of pieces. But I kind of feel like ever since especially since I quit my diplomacy job and became a business owner and AI, I'm writing much less in depth, I would say. And I write all my emails myself. You won't see AI there, nor in my Instagram post or whatsoever. But somehow I do feel with all the technology, I'm just writing less. So me writing the book it's hard, man. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. But I am excited that I said yes to this, and it kind of feels a bit like overwhelming because there's so much going on personally with my moves, my business. It kind of feels like another big baby that I need to deliver, but yeah, it feels cool too. I'm excited for it. I like some challenges. So stay tuned and more soon. And then my third real big win is my relationship. And I haven't shared much about this because I am a private person when it comes to my relationships. I do not talk so much about, nor my friendships. I don't show that much either. I have been open about the things that I've struggled with, and I will continue to do that when it's relevant to my audience. But for now, I just want to say I'm very happy in this relationship because it's the global relationship that I was praying for. And with someone, well, not getting into details, but I'm very, very happy. And I think it's a real result of all the inner work that I've done and to keep showing up and keeping my heart open despite how many times it got bruised and broken. So if you are single and you are in your 30s and living this global life and wondering, should I move back home because maybe I can find my partner there, or I want to start a family, but I don't know how or where, I really, really, really see you because I've been in that same position and now I'm on the other side, and I just want to tell you, keep going, keep having your faith, keep showing up for yourself, do the inner work, hire me if you need to work on this, but your partner is there for you. So and at the start of this year, when I wrote down my 3 goals, when I created that episode, I hadn't even met him yet. I met him 2 weeks later here in Mexico City, and it's been great. So I'm one happy girl. So this is the update on my 3 goals. So it's going más o menos, as I would say. I am neutral to positive about my goals. I'm also always a bit critical, I think, on my own progress, but I'm really seeing the results that I've booked towards my goals. I'm also really seeing the adjustments that I need to make. And then I'm also seeing the other results that I got that were not part of my goals. And I'm like, fuck yeah, this is pretty good. And at the same time, I'm recognizing the first half of this year was like this whirlwind, and it was fun and great. But I'm also ready to slow down a little bit and to not play so much chess anymore. Let me just say that. So that's it. And I would love to hear how you are going through this year. So maybe you started the new year with this hope of like, okay, it's a new year, new goals, new me. It's a year of the fire horse. Let me go get what I want. And maybe life happened and you were thrown some curveballs and you are nowhere near your goals or how you want to feel. Or maybe you've aced them all and you're like, okay, what's next? I want more. Or maybe you're just, it's the same as before. Nothing has changed. It doesn't matter, and I don't want you to judge yourself for it. But I do want you to ask yourself, is this do I want a continuation of this for the rest of the year? And if not, what can I change in my being and in my doing to get there? And if you would like some support on that, not coaching support, no long programs, not the co-pilot, not my one-on-one coaching, but something fun, an experience, something that will really make you go, oh yes, and give you that energy boost, plus the structure and the tools to make it happen, I have good news. Because I am bringing back the space. And the space is my do-it-yourself solo retreat for expats. And I originally had created it for the start of the year, really to mark that, okay, a year is ending. What have I achieved? What have I experienced? Where have I been this year? And where do I want to go for the coming year? And who do I need to become to make that happen? But when I designed it, I already knew I'm also going to make this happen or open the doors in the summer, because I know for a lot of people, myself included, the summer is like this longer space where you can really zoom out a little bit, have time and space to just think and let the creative flows come again and whatsoever. And then in September, it feels like going back to school, and it also feels like the start of a new year, or at least a new season. So I'm opening doors to the space again, so that this summer, during your holidays or when you're back home again, you can have this 2-day experience. And the setup is so simple. I really like the setup, actually. It is, you decide when you do it, where you do it. I recommend you do it not in your house, not in your daily environment, but somewhere else. It doesn't have to be another country or other city, just somewhere else. And you keep 2 days completely free in your calendar. And then you just start with day 1 and my prompts. So what I've created is an experience that is a combination of journaling, visualizations, and some other sort of exercises that I want you to do. Day 1 is really about looking back, taking stock, assessing where you are, the lessons that you've learned, what you're ready to let go of, what you want to bring with you. Because if you want to bring in the new, you first need to let go of the old. You first need to create space for it. And then day 2 is all about, okay, now that I have the space and the clean slate, what is next? What do I want and how do I actually get there? And a lot of people who've done the space have loved it. They said like, wow, it really made me think about different things. There was someone who has a hard time looking back, and for her, day 1 was really helpful, she recently told me. People have got a lot more inspiration. The visualizations did work. There is an exercise where I'm sending you on walks also. You're not just sitting inside. I'm sending you on a certain walk on day 1, which was really healing for someone. Someone else loved the walk on day 2, which is something that I regularly still do myself as well, by the way, that day 2 walk, just on a random moment. So there are really cool things inside that make this more an experience rather than, oh, I need to do the inner work, or I need to do coaching, or I need to talk about my things. No, you don't. You just get to listen to what I tell you. You get the answers. You get to answer the questions that I give you. You get to do the prompts that I also give to you, and that's it. And this will really help you, like I said, be more mindful of where you've been, and not just geographically, of course, but mentally and emotionally, and what you're ready to let go of and say goodbye to, and what you are ready to call in for your life. And not from this place of I need to push for my goals and willpower, but from this place of who am I becoming to make this happen. The exact same approach I used to get the results that I just shared with you. And what I really like about, well, my own retreats, and I've been doing this for years, I think for 8 years now, 7 years, something like that. Every December I do this. It's the same tools that I use, that I put in the space. What I really like about this approach is that it's not just a one-time thing that you do and then you forget about it. Because like I said, I wrote it down in my journal. It's very vivid what I wrote down, and not just like the revenue goal, but it's really, I wrote down who I'm being when I have that revenue. The bicontinental life, I wrote down who I'm being with the bicontinental life and what I'm doing differently. And because it's from this place of identity rather than willpower, it's something that you start to live and breathe in your daily life as well. You just sometimes need your intentional check-in moment to remind yourself of it, which is what I do too. So if you are feeling like this is something that I could need this summer, so that I start December fresh and really clear on what I want to call in and who I'm being when I return back to school, this is your cue, because I'm opening doors to the space right now. I have no idea when I'm going to close them. Probably I'll open them for the rest of the month, but my advice is, if you want to get in, just join so that you have it. It is yours to keep. You can do this retreat as often as you would like. It's not live, like you get immediate access to the portal where you can find everything. And if in November you want to do it instead of December, again, you do it. If you want to do it 4 times a year, you can do it. If you want to do it not this summer, but maybe next year, you can do it. You can do it anytime and as often as you like. It's really yours to keep. So it's a one-time investment, and you get to do this solo retreat as often as you like. And it is for a fraction of the price that I normally ask. So this is really just a small one-time investment for a retreat that you can do anywhere, anytime. So if you are thinking, okay, yes, this is what I want, just go get it, because I'm not quite sure when I'm closing doors, and you don't want to miss out on it, because the next time the doors will open will be December. All right, that's it for now. I've got things to do. It's my last week in Mexico. I'm leaving in a couple of days. I'm sad to be leaving. I'm also excited to go back to long European nights. I'm really longing for that, and to get ready for my next chapter. It's just around the corner, and I'm pretty done with this in-between phase I've been in for a few months now, and I'm ready to start my next chapter. So I'm excited for that. All right, see you next time. Have a great day wherever you are.